Hi, in this video I'm going to go through word class, and that is the classification that each of these words have. So is a word a noun, a verb, an adjective, or an adverb? And we'll have a look at why these are important. A quick note to mention is that words can change their word class depending on how they are used. Take for example the word study. Now this is a noun in this sense when we mean to spend time learning something. However, if we say to study, or studying, that means to complete the action associated with study. It then becomes a verb because we're doing it, whereas the concept itself, study, the idea of study, is a noun. But we'll go more into that when we look at nouns and verbs in a second. It might seem obscure that we're talking about this, especially if you're talking about GCSE English, but what this does, it actually meets the criteria of using appropriate subject terminology, adding a depth. Instead of just naming language techniques, you can also mention the fundamental words in effect. So you might mention your big language technique, your simile, your metaphor, but then if you say, this effect is further reinforced by the writer's use of the verb, noun, adjective, adverb, it shows you've got a real depth of understanding of English language. Verbs are doing word, so think if you can't do it, then it's not a verb. These look like shook, walked, run, and fight, and these are action words. The next one I'm going to talk about is adverbs, and a way to remember this is that it adds information to verbs. So it describes how the verbs are done. And they tend to end in ly, so it's a way of doing something. So quickly, slowly, suddenly. These are all tend to be adverbs. Adjectives are describing words. If you're ever unsure of what kind of word class a word belongs to, try and have a think of what function is the word performing. In other words, what is that word doing? If it's describing, then it's an adjective. So such things like beautiful, spooky, silent, all of these are adjectives. The last one we're talking about is nouns. So nouns are the names of things. They're the names of places, objects, and concepts. Now I've mentioned concepts because that's quite a difficult one to get your head around. So for anything abstract at all, it tends to be a noun. So like thought, religion, spirituality, all these things are nouns because it's a name of the thing. But we've also got more local ones like table, chair, places. We've got Manchester. And then if we're being non-specific, that's where pronouns come from. So he, she, they. It's just a way of referring to a person, place, or thing. So in a second, I'm going to show you some words, and I just want to see if you can put them in the correct categories in terms of the different word classes. Now this may take a little bit of practice, but feel free to have a look, pause it, and then check against the answers that you'll see in a moment. Okay, so we've got the words annoyed, eat, book, computer, sit, suspiciously, hopefully, and spooky. So spend a moment now, you might want to pause the video and just see if you can put the different words in the different categories. So if we go through the answers, you remember that a noun is the name of a person, place, or thing. So we've put computer and book because these are both names of objects. Next, we've got verbs, which are doing words, and these are eat and sit. And then adverbs, we have helpfully and suspiciously, because they describe how a verb is done. Notice the ly endings there. And the adjectives are annoyed and spooky because they're performing that function of describing something. Okay, now for deeper analysis for GCSE, be sure to check out our language analysis videos where you start to look at connotations and really take that a little bit deeper. Finally, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.